Transferring line art onto white paper is usually quite simple. Most artists either use a hand-coated graphite transfer method or a traditional transfer paper if they don't have a projector. But for this Gorilla tutorial, which is the next project in color pencil school, black paper felt like the obvious choice. The problem was that I now needed a way to transfer the line art in white instead of dark graphite. I do have white transfer paper myself, but I started wondering, what if my members don't have that or they don't have a projector? So I decided to test a few different white hand-coated transfer methods using different types of color pencil alongside a traditional white transfer sheet to see which gave the cleanest result while also erasing easily from the black surface if needed on both black smooth paper and anthracite pastel matte. So let's do the experiment. So I have put different methods that I'm going to use here, or different pencils names, and I'm going to turn this over and coat these areas with different types of color pencils. So the first one is polychromos, and simply I just want to put that down. This is, I can see the name although it's back to front, but it's easy to see. So this is polychromos, and I'm just going to go over this a few times just to make sure I have enough pigment on this side of the paper. I think that's quite enough now. The next one is Pablo. So this is Caran d'Ache Pablo, and I am going to just go over the name and a little bit further because I would like to create a few lines and see how I can erase them. You see, it is very important that we can actually erase the line art that we put on our drawing surface, because we don't want to have the line art around our drawing. In many cases we don't need them and we get rid of them during the drawing. The next pencil I'm going to use is Prismacolor, which is here. I'm pressing quite hard, so you just need to make sure that you have enough graphite pigment on your paper. And because this is a copy paper, it doesn't have any tooth, so it is not going to get stuck to the paper. And although Museum Aquarel, Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarel is not color pencil, it is not wax or oil-based color pencil, but it is a very good white. So I was wondering if that could give me a better result than the oil or wax-based color pencils. For pan pastel, I just use this applicator just to put a little bit of pan pastel powder here. I just put a few layers, make sure that it is covered, and obviously we have to shake our paper to get rid of the excess of the pan pastel. And the next one is a chalk pastel. It is not oil or wax based pastel, it is soft pastel. Putting enough on it, and I've left this area for my transfer sheet. So I'm going to shake this. So I just shook the paper so the excess of the pastel or the pencil graph pigments are off now, and now I'm going to try to transfer. So first I have this paper, which is a normal smooth black paper, and I simply want to put my copy paper with all the graphite or the pigments in the back on this paper, secure it like this, and then I'm just going to go over these lines and write the names down. So if that name is transferred properly, we'll know that the transfer method is effective. So the first one is polychromos, and I'm using a polychromos black for it. It doesn't matter the color really, I just want to put down polychromos here so we know. And of course we have to know that, you know, when we are transferring our line art, we don't want to press too hard. So these are the lines that I would like to try whether it is going to be erased easily or not. Then Pablo, then Museum Aquarel, and then Prismacolor. You have to remember, behind each one of these names, let's put all my lines there as well. We have behind each of these names, we have put some white pencil pigment down. So Prismacolor is a representative for a waxy color, waxy pencil. Museum Aquarel is quite chalky. Pablo is also waxy but is dry, and Polychromos is oily. It's oil-based and it is a dry one. Now let's try Pan Pastel. I am pressing a bit harder than what I usually would do for my normal transfer. Then Soft Pan Pastel, and finally I am going to use a white transfer sheet that I'm going to put just under here, and just put transfer. So this is what I usually use for my transfer. So let's see what happens. Okay, so from this little experiment, we found out that we actually get our line transferred no matter what color pencil we use. And the brightest are obviously my transfer sheet, which is the Trace Down. The brand is Frisk Trace Down, and Soft Pastel Stick. The cleanest are the pencils. I mean, if I wanted to choose in terms of clean and bright, I would choose Pablo. Okay, Prismacolor is also not too bad. So let's try and erase and see what happens if we try to erase these lines. These two. One is kneadable eraser, so let's see how, I'm gonna erase half of the line. Wow, that is really good. And obviously it would be great with Tombow Mono Zero eraser. Let's do it here. That is quite good as well, it's enough. And with the Pablo, with the Tombow, it goes off really well. Museum Aquarel is also good with both, I think. So it looks like all our pencils are erased as well. Let's see if a waxy pencil like Prismacolor would go off. So it's just the last dot, which I think I pressed too hard, so this is also good. And this one is quite good. So if we want to get rid of our lines, those would be really good too. With Pan Pastel, I'm sure it will go off quite easily, really good with both methods. And Soft Pastel Stick is also erasable really well. With the transfer sheet, I already know that it goes off with any eraser. So this was really good result, right? So let's see what happens on Pastel Matte. The only thing is that on this side you can see that we have a lot of dust and mess, which I think will go off quite easily with a little bit of kneadable eraser. So there we go. Okay. So before trying to transfer onto Pastel Matte, I'm just going to add to the pencil pigments here, just to make sure that lack of pigment is not the reason for not transferring. Because we have already transferred some of this pigment onto our smooth paper. Then Pablo, Prismacolor, Museum Aquarel, Pastel Matte, Pan Pastel, a few layers, and Chalk Pastel. So this is a piece of anthracite Pastel Matte, and I'm gonna do the same, exactly the same as what I did last time. Color doesn't matter really, does it? It's really important that this can work with not a lot of pressure, because if it needs a lot of pressure, we might end up making an indentation in the paper, which would not be easy to get rid of afterwards while we are drawing. So Pan Pastel, Soft Pastel Stick, transfer sheet. Just put transfer sheet underneath. Just go over it. So let's see what happens. All right. So looking at these lines transferred on Pastel Matte, I have a feeling that all of them are lighter than what we had on this smooth paper. Okay, surprisingly my transfer sheet didn't work as well as here, and the best and the brightest one is Pastel Stick, but I could predict that because this is Pastel Matte, so Pastel Stick would stick to it really better. Having said that, these are really clean, and Pablo gave me a good enough and visible enough set of lines. Okay, so let's see how the erasability works now. So with Polychromos it's not even visible enough, so let's see. Both work quite well. Pablo is okay on Pastel Matte, with both the Tombow and kneadable eraser. Museum Aquarel is not going off so easily, and Prismacolor, I bet it doesn't go off, because it usually doesn't go off on pastel matte easily because it's waxy and sticky, but it does get lighter using the Tombow, enough to be good for our drawing. Pan pastel, really good with both erasers. I haven't put lines there, so I am going to use it here. So let's see if this goes off. It does with the so with soft pastel stick we can get rid of the lines too, and with the lines with transfer sheet also go off really effectively. So if I want to compare the two papers side by side, I would say that both hand-coated transfer method, where you coat the back of your paper with your color of choice of pencil or graphite, versus the traditional transfer sheet method, where you use a traditional transfer sheet, white or graphite color or another color. All of them work basically. But if I have to choose, I think, to be honest, Pablo is the cleanest result, and you can actually get rid of the lines both on the pastel matte and the smooth paper really easily, and you don't get all these mess that is created by the pastel dust around, or even with the transfer sheet. One of the things about white color transfer sheet is that although it's very bright, but it does create a lot of dust. So if you don't have white transfer sheet, use any of these color pencils, Polychromos, Pablo, or any other color pencil, and just have a go and see if they are erasable before. Hopefully this little experiment will help anyone looking for a practical way to transfer line art onto dark surfaces. Thank you for watching this.